Today for Mousetrap Monday, I'm really excited to show you one of the most impressive rodent traps that I've ever seen. It was invented in New Zealand to help protect some of their native wildlife by controlling non-native pests such as rats and weasels. It's made by Good Nature and it's called the A24 Rat and Mouse Trap. I have a kit here complete with a counter, and I got this from automatictrap.com. So let's open up this box and I'll show you all the components to this rat killing machine. First, going to talk about these little rodent detectors. These are little cardboard tabs with bait on the back of them, and these really let you identify the best location to set up your trap. You just hang these at different places, and when the rats or mice come along and chew it, you know that they're actively feeding, and it's a good place to install our A24. Along with the rodent detectors, it includes 2 of these CO2 canisters, which pressurize the main body of the trap and provide the killing action for the striker. It also comes with this digital strike counter, which mounts to the CO2 canister and records the number of times the trap goes off, so you can keep track of how many rodents are killed over time. And under this little cap here, you put this little bait lure bottle. It has the lure right in there and attracts the rats up into the trap. It smells pretty good. It almost smells like coconut oil or cooking with coconut oil. And you have to replace this every month, but it's pretty powerful stuff to bring the rats in. So I'm going to set this trap up and then show you how it works. This is the main body of the trap. We have our shroud cap here that unscrews, and you can see the clear path with that little wire in there. That's the trigger. You put the bait bottle in there, and that rat will want to smell that and get up in there. So it'll crawl through the trap, trip that trigger, and this is the striker that under pressure comes and hits it in its head. This is where you mount the trap to a tree or a board. We pop out the little CO2 canister. That's just a holding place for it. And you can unclip this little orange piece right here, and it'll come out just like that. It has 2 screws, and you can mount those right to a tree. Once that tree mount is secure, you just put the main body of the trap back on it, and it will clip back into place like that. Now to charge it, we have to screw in the little CO2 canister. These come with a little plastic cap on them, and there's the threads, and you just put it in there, make sure that the threads are lined up, and then you pressurize it by screwing it in. And you always want to treat this like a loaded gun. You don't want to stick any body parts or fingers up there because it's pressurized and it's ready. Once something trips that little trigger, it will come shooting over. Here's our little digital counter. You push the button, you can see the number 2. The way this works is it records a sudden jolt from the trap going off. And so in shipment, this had a little bit of a rough ride and it recorded 2 hits. The way you zero it out is you hold the button down till it blinks, and it now says 0. So we can start over, put it on that little CO2 canister, and we can record the number of times the trap goes off. Now that this trap is all pressurized, we're ready to put in our little lure bottle. Before we do that, I like to spread a little lure at the base of the trap so that the rats are attracted to it and then drawn up into the trap. You put that into the shroud and then screw that on, and this trap is ready to go. Now to see how it works, you can see that little wire trigger in there, and the rat will come along, stick its head in there, and when it trips that little wire, just get it right, bam! That orange little striker plate comes and hits it right in the head, and it falls down. And then a scavenger, a bird or a cat or a dog or some other animal can come and eat that animal, and this is ready to go for the next animal. Another rat comes along, sticks its head up in there, bam! And that little orange striker comes down. This CO2 canister is good for 24 strikes before you change it out, and it works really good. Just come in there like that, bam! Pretty impressive. That rat wouldn't have a chance. Let's go set this up in a barn, and I'll show you how well this trap works with real rats. First, I'm going to set out these detectors and find the best place with the biggest rodent population, and then we're going to go kill some rats with the A24. Last night we got a huge rat with our A24 trap. That rat stuck its head right in there and bam, got hit in the head and was dead instantly. This trap works so well. It kind of reminds me of a device known as a captive bolt pistol, also known as a slaughterhouse stun gun for killing cattle. They featured that psychopath killer in the movie No Country for Old Men. Just a rod that hits them right in the head, instantly dead. Now, if you've ever butchered chickens before, you've seen the natural reaction is even when you cut the head completely off and they're dead, they'll flop around a little bit. This rat flopped around a little bit too, but that's what's great about this trap is they don't stay right here at the base of the trap. They flop out of the way and another rat can come right in and get caught. Clearly this trap works well for rats. It was designed for rats and it is a rat killing machine.
But I also was contacted by a farmer recently who has a problem with another rodent getting into his barns, ground squirrels. Ground squirrels can be a huge problem. Chipmunks, sage rats, ground squirrels. If they get in an orchard, they can do a lot of damage to fruit, and when they get in a barn, they chew on wires, tear things up. So I'm going to test this out on a larger animal, a ground squirrel. I know that these A24s are rat killing machines. I wasn't sure if it would work on an animal bigger like a ground squirrel, but it nailed this thing. It was lying dead right next to the trap. It didn't go far. It completely crushed its skull, and this thing died very quickly. What a great trap that can handle much larger animals than rats, squirrels and weasels. Really diverse, and man, it works good. That thing is stone dead. I've reviewed a lot of different traps on YouTube. I've tested out many different models and styles, and as far as large rodents such as rats and squirrels, the A24 is the best on the market. It's so great because it's a quick, humane kill. It works almost every time that I've seen it and with the trail camera footage, and they die instantly. And then a scavenger comes and pulls them away, and it resets itself. Very little maintenance on your part. Some of the standard snap traps you have to go back and check and reset, not with this trap. The bait lure bottle lasts about a month. You have to go back and change that out. The CO2 canister will last 6 months or 24 hits, so you got to check your counter. The counter will last for 5 years, so you're not going to run out of batteries on the counter anytime soon. And as long as there's rodents in the area, you'll be killing them with this trap. It's a little bit expensive. It's just under $200 for this kit, but to me, I've had way more damage to equipment in the barn with these rodents chewing on things. And so for me, that's an affordable price. You can put this in your orchard and protect your crops and put it in your barn and just not worry about it. It will continue to kill those rats. Now, I'm going to give you a little tip once we take this off on replacing the canister. This can still be dangerous even though you take the canister out. I'll show you once it's pressurized. You have to trigger it and release that pressure, or it can still go off. When you're ready to remove the CO2 canister, keep in mind that as that CO2 escapes, the canister gets very cold, so you don't want your fingers on there. You just untwist it. This is one-time use, so once you unscrew it, it's pretty much done. If there's any gas left in there, it will escape. You just untwist it like that. It comes shooting out. There we go. See, that's frozen right there. You got to keep in mind that even though we've removed the CO2 canister, the trap is still pressurized. It's still ready to kill a rat or mouse. So that trigger, if it's activated, will come shooting over. Just like that. If you do that a couple times, you release that pressure and it's safe now, but you still don't want to stick your fingers in there. Treat this like a loaded gun. Always treat it like it can go off at any time. But it's such a great trap. People ask, what do I do with these? It's pest control, so you can throw them away. I have cooked and eaten rat before, and I'll put that video in the link in the description below. So if you want to see how to cook and eat a rat just like this, watch that video. It's a great video, and rat actually tastes very good. People eat squirrel all the time, mostly the tree squirrels, not the ground squirrels, but they taste good as well.